Hi, hope you guys are doing okay. My sound is off. Oh my gosh, my sound wasn't on. Hi, no sound for a minute. No sound for a second, but the sound's on now. So I just let you guys know. Okay. Hi, how are you? The sound will come on in a minute. You don't have to type no sound. You have no idea. Hi. Okay. You guys, you're supposed to look at the chat. I wrote no sound for a second. Did you see that? Did you see that message? Did you miss it? Hi. Okay. Welcome. So today I was offline. It was amazing. You guys, I cleaned my house. That's what I did. That's what I did. I got into a fight with some cleaner. My house was in need of a very big, deep scrub. Every nook and cranny of our upstairs got cleaned. My son's bathroom, his bedroom, my bathroom, all of that. Even the stairs got disinfected. Everything is disinfected in my house. Welcome. Okay, so I was thinking like we haven't had a lot of live streams lately because the live streams have been sort of like wonky. And that has meant that a lot of you have not had a lot of interaction time and we haven't been chatting very much. It's been a lot of pre-recorded videos. And I was like, okay, last week we had Amy on and we did sort of like Amy and Katie talked. And I did like a sort of mellow kind of Q&A last night on Instagram. And then when I put it up over here, everyone thought that it was a live Q&A. So then I was like, well, crap, maybe I just need to do a live Q&A here where people can ask me questions. And we can go from there. I haven't done one in a while. The last few that I've done have been kind of like I've brought the questions with me. And I haven't had a chance to like... I brought the questions with me versus like, hold on, I gotta get my lighting fixed here. Versus me actually interacting with the chat. So tonight I'm gonna do chat interactions. So if you wanna make sure that your question is answered, feel free to use the super chat option. That will make sure that they're answered. I'll be answering others just from the live as I can see them. Sometimes these questions can go relatively quickly. So that's where we're at. I hope you guys have a beverage. We might be around for a minute. But, before we start, I want to make sure everyone's doing okay. I want to make sure everyone's having a staying healthy kind of time. I know I've got some of my subscribers that are sick right now, so I just want you guys to know I'm thinking about all of you that are dealing with illnesses at this point. So, yeah, today was actually a nice day here in Minnesota. I was able to have the windows open and clean, which is a good thing. We've normally had cleaners. We've had cleaners for a couple of years because when I was trying to do everything myself, take care of my son, all of his medications, all the tube feeding stuff, and then trying to clean and do everything else, it got to be too much. And so we've had cleaners for a couple of years. And obviously now with everything that's going on, we don't have cleaners. And it was almost like, I don't even say a blessing in disguise because I'm not religious, but it was kind of like a blessing in disguise because I realized when I was in the bathroom today that there was just stuff in my house that needed to be deep cleaned that the cleaners were not getting. And so I spent so much time in the bathrooms really getting stuff done, like, how you can clean a house you pay attention to your dirt way different than a stranger does. So yeah, we're going to see if I even have them back after this. Okay. Coffee, if you're in the... Okay, coffee, and then... Passenger shaming is freaking hilarious. I did a live stream with her earlier this week. If you've seen her Instagram page, it's got over 1 million people. She's one of my members. She loves this channel. But she has this humongous Instagram page where she posts photos of people on planes and stuff. It's pretty funny. Okay. Okay. Your liquor store is sold out. The liquor store by my house has so much. So if you guys want to just come down to Minnesota, the liquor store by my house has so much. Like when I was there last week, it was like up to the ceiling. There was so much in there. It was ridiculous. Um, they're closed in Vegas. That's crazy. Okay. So, have I talked to Amy Duggar King? Yes, I talked to her today. Actually, I've talked to her almost every day this week. Yes, I think she's gonna come on Monday night. We at my house we alternate. So we alternate nights that we put my son to bed, because we have to actually lay my son down and then stay with him because he has anxiety and just with everything that's been going on this last year, it's just been a lot. And then with him, with this whole like being home now and not being completely out of his routine. And if you have a child that is on the spectrum, you know what I'm talking about, that when you get outside of the routine, it can be really, really hard. It can be hard for any kid to get outside of their routine, but like kids with ASD really are very much routine oriented. And so it's really challenging. And so we've been, a little bit more lax with things. And so we have to fall asleep with him and then he sleeps with me and it just helps his nerves right now and mine. Let's be honest, my nerves about him getting sick, because then I know like if something happens, he's right next to me and I don't have to worry about anything. So we alternate every other night because it can be a lot for one of us to have to do that every night. So because the whole experience from start to finish is like a 3 hour production to put him to bed. So that's where we are. Yeah, she'll be back on Monday, I think. So there's no cars out in New York. And yeah. Um, I have never seen you not wearing neutrals. I don't know what you mean by that. Neutrals, like neutrals on my eyebrows, neutrals on my eyes. The camera really washes my face out, I'll have to be honest. You can't actually see my eye makeup. It's really purple. But on camera, you can't tell that it's that purple. Will I talk about the video that Joanna and Austin posted today? You mean the video that they posted yesterday? They did a Q&A yesterday. I didn't really watch it because it looked super boring. And it was filmed last month, which is so stupid because it's April 4th, meaning they posted it yesterday. It was April 3rd. Last month could have been 3 days ago. Don't even get me started on how the Duggars are not self-isolating correctly. It's driving me batty. Neutral clothes. Well, on camera, I try to wear neutral colors because I don't want to be super out loud. Does that bother you? Oh, I have 2 new members. Thank you, Mandy. And thank you, Sarah C. Oh, Mandy, I think you must have just renewed your membership. How is my former moderator doing? I spoke to her daughter yesterday and she's still on ECMO and she was on, they were reducing the pressure on her ventilator and seeing how she tolerated that. And that's kind of where we're at. So I don't really have like a lot of updates on where she's going or what's going to happen. I was told that it is going to take quite some time for her to really get to a place where she's going to be better. It could be weeks. So I don't expect really anything. I mean, she's still on ECMO. So that's a really big deal. This is a very serious thing going on. So remember all of that. Flashing lights are very distracting. I don't know what flashing lights you're talking about. I don't have any lights on here. Okay. What are the Duggars doing? I don't know what they're doing. They are definitely not they're not staying away, and they're not following proper protocols. I don't have flashing lights on though. Rhonda, there's no flashing lights on. I did not watch the Kardashians because I'm not really a Kardashians fan. Anyone that knows me knows that I am not a Kardashians fan. And my screen is super, hold on a second, dim. There we go. Why aren't you wearing your She-Ra cape, girl? Okay, so seriously, did you see I did just a quick Instagram live where I was talking about Robin Brown. So I'm reading this book, Becoming Sister Wives, because I fell into this rabbit hole today. So, tomorrow on Sister Wives, it's going to be like Cody and Robin, and they're going to be, or Cody and Mary, and they're supposed to be in therapy. And during this session, they're basically supposed to be talking about how they're not together anymore, or how the marriage is over. And it was through the marriage being over that Cody says, like, oh, I'm really I rushed into this marriage and everything worked really fast. And I can't believe I rushed into this marriage and I didn't even really know her and blah, 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 blah. And that got me thinking what is in this history? Did they rush into marriage? So then I was like, well, let me see, Cody and Mary. And then it was Cody and Maddie, and then, or Mary and Maddie, and then Mary and Maddie not having a good relationship. And then all of this stuff about Mary and Maddie, and then Mary and Janelle. And then I was like, in the rabbit hole, 6 feet under. And then I was like, oh, Becoming Sister Wives. And then I started reading it. And now I'm on chapter 5. There is no flashing lights. So it's the fan. My background is flashing. Well, I don't know what to tell you, you guys. I'm not going to turn my fan off. If something's bothering you, you don't have to watch. But it's really warm in here, and I'm going to keep my fan on. Okay, sorry about that. So Becoming Sister Wives was written in 2013, and it was written during a time where they were still trying to figure out where every single thing, they were still trying to pretend to us that they were the best friends, right? That everyone was best friends with everybody else. And they were supposed to be the greatest. And you guys in chat, I'm not going to do this if we're going to get stuck on the flashing in the background. So I'm just going to sit here until you're done chatting about this. I'm literally not going to just let it go. I can't do anything. Okay. Okay. We're good. Are we better? Okay. I really just... This is why I rarely interact with you guys on chat. Okay, so anyways, I ended up in the rabbit hole, and that's where we were at. And I'm trying to... No, that's actually... this is actually Sweetie down there. Okay. So I ended up in the rabbit hole, and then this book was written in 2013, and everything was designed. And everything was designed in a way so that it would be like, hold on, I'm going to put on slow mode. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Why am I letting the chat from stopping me from speaking? Because everyone is super distracted in chat and I have ADHD. And when you guys get distracted in chat, then I get distracted. Okay. So anyways, the book was written in 2013 and the book is ridiculous. Like Robin has an alter ego named She-Ra after her divorce, which helps her be strong. And I say that She-Ra is not who Robin is because She-Ra would never marry Bozo the Clown, who is Cody. So I did a video on that really quick. Cody knew exactly who Mary was and he married her. I know. So in this episode that's supposed to be on tomorrow night, Cody says that he doesn't know, he rushed into his courtship with Mary. But the book, which I'm reading right now, states that they actually knew each other for 3 months or 4 months. They courted for 4 months before they ever got married, and they were friends for quite some time. So they did know who each other were before they got married, which is odd if you think about it, because he knew exactly what he was getting. And in the book, he actually says that he liked Mary for her purity and for her like shyness and the fact that she listened to him. Because like he could be like himself, like vivacious and out there. He wanted a mousy wildflower with her, I think. So anyways, yeah, Cody is Bozo the Clown. So I want to do some streams about that. Robin is totally always crying in the background. Totally. Her alter ego should not be She-Ra. It should be like, who cries a lot? Like, who is someone that cries all the time? She's totally a Robin. Masters of the Universe. Right. She-Ra was on Masters of the Universe. So She-Ra was the one that was constantly... She-Ra was the one that was like the really tough one, right? And she was the one that like would be like super strong. And that's not how I imagine her at all. At all. But if she is saying that she's She-Ra, that would explain a lot of the stuff going on with her behavior of independent and fighting for what she wants, all of that kind of stuff. Do I think Robin was pregnant during filming? You know, I've thought about this, and I really don't think that Robin was pregnant, because if she was pregnant, there would actually be a baby now, and they can't hide anything. And at all. So doubtful. I actually don't have hate for Robin. I was literally just talking about the book I was reading where she says that she's She-Ra. So, so we know that the Duggars do know about me. Do I think that Cody does? I have no idea. I have no idea, to be honest. I don't care. I know. She-Ra's like a little kid. Okay. So now we're just going to get into some questions. So if you have questions, I will answer them. Make sure that you, if you have a question and you want me to make sure that I get to it, use the super chat feature. Otherwise, if I see a question in the chat, I will grab it as soon as I see it. And then I will read it out loud so you guys know what I'm answering. Okay. So let me see if there's been anything that I haven't seen yet. What was the not? I don't know what that means. What was the not today business? I don't know. Just wanted to thank you for your content. You are welcome. Okay. This is going to be hard because the chat's moving fast. Do I think that Cody is looking for more wives? Probably. I mean, he's an egomaniac, don't you think? In my opinion, I think that he probably would take more wives just because that would mean that he could have more babies, and that means that he has more chances in heaven. And I feel like Mary will probably leave. So if Mary leaves, then there's only like 3 wives, and the more wives he has, the better. What is in my glass? I don't even know. Apothic, I think. Apothic Dark. I think I just poured this. I earned this glass of wine today because I scrubbed every inch of this upstairs. Seriously, this house is spick and span. Thank you for becoming a member, Chris. I am so glad you are here. You are awesome. Could Mary get her own show if she left Cody? Who knows? Would you watch a show of just Mary? You guys, I forgot to tell you. Guess who got into Mary's Blue the Roo group? I got into her Facebook group. I got into Mary's secret LLR Facebook group with 95,000 friends. Mary is selling shirts up the storm, which got me thinking, you guys. She is out there during this time selling all of these clothes, and she's shipping them all over the place. And what if she were like, what if she's sick? Do you think that Mary practices good hand washing? Can she assure you that the proper hand washing has been done before she ships you the crappy leggings that she sells? I just got into the group, you guys, and I'm probably going to get outed. And she blocked me from this channel, so she might actually see that I'm in the group, and then she might block me. But I am in there. Hi, Mary. Nothing really good has happened in there so far. She just sells clothes. And it's a lot of clothes that she sells. You want to be in her group? Just ask to join. It's on Facebook. You and 95,000 of your closest friends can be in a group with Mary. Yay! I guarantee that if you brought up Sister Wise, you'd be removed from the group. Maybe. Hi, Katie Lindstrom. Hey, how are you? I'm not going to buy anything from LLR because I don't support those kinds of schemes. And also, caveat, you guys, if you sell something that's in one of those schemes, no matter how much I like you, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy your protein shakes, your makeup, your whatever it is, your eyelashes, your skincare line. I'm just not. I'm not going to buy it. I don't know. There's online stores you can buy stuff. Most of the stores by us are closed right now. I think we have like grocery stores that are open. But like even the Walmarts here, they've closed down anything that's not grocery. So at the Walmart here, you can't go into the store that sells like electronics or, all that kind of stuff. That's not considered essential right now. She live chats most episodes in her group. Ooh. Ooh. Am I totally over Teen Mom OG? Are you done summarizing their boring show? I'm going to stick it out just to see how everything figures out with Amber. Because next week they're going to do the audio, and I don't know, after that we'll have to see. I'm pretty much over the show, but yeah. I'm glad you like my channel, Jolene. Welcome. Okay, funny story about LuLaRoe. I love to do it both ways because it irritates the heck out of you guys when I say it wrong. So I bought a pair of leggings one time and they were like buttery soft and super cute and they were black and white. And I looked like a third grader going out to the play with my son. And I was at this like jumpy house thing for him for a birthday party. And my son is on the spectrum. And so it's always intense to go anywhere that's loud. And so I was chasing him around. I just had put these pants on, just put them on. And then I looked down and I had holes in the legs. Holes. I spent $25 on these pants and there was holes in the legs. And so I contacted the lady that I got them from, who was my friend at the time, by the way. And she just said to me, well, you know, when you buy them, they can just do that. They can just rip. And then she said that she would return them for me, and she took them, and then she never gave me a different pair, and I didn't get my $25 back. And so I bought a pair of leggings from her, and I wore them for 4 hours, and there was rips in them. After that, I was done. I was like, nope. Chris Elam, I did. I saw that you became a member tonight. Did I not say hi? Hi, welcome. Thank you, Chris, for joining. Super glad. Send me an email. What would Teen Mom have to do to keep me watching? Nothing. I am so over these girls. I'm done with them. I am fed up. I am fed up with their attitudes. They are just so entitled, and I'm just over it. Do you think they're going to show in the next episode next week that you are the one who released it? I have high doubts that my name will ever be brought up on Teen Mom. I think it's going to be all about Andrew. You know, like, Andrew's trying to ruin me. He's releasing all this information. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like they're going to bring my name up, because if they do, then they bring attention to who I am. And I don't think the network wants anyone to know who I am because of the content that I put out that's critical of them. Like, if I were a blogger that was kissing their butt, maybe they'd be like, oh, look. Because, like, if you noticed on the episode last week, they posted a ton of stuff from the Ashley, and the Ashley has, like, all these ins with them. So if they have a blogger that puts out content that they want, they will put that name out, but I don't put the content out that they want. I'm critical of the show. So they're never going to have anything to do with me on that show at all. Pickles brought me up. What did Pickles say? What did Pickles say? What did Pickles say? You mean Pickles from Facebook? You thought I was in Western wear? No, it's literally, it's, you know those, it's a running shirt. You know, like, it has pockets in it. Like, it's one of those, like, running shirts. It's a running shirt. If I had to call it, what do I think the Duggars are being investigated for? Okay, so DHS only, they only look at certain things, okay? Immigration, human trafficking, photos of children and stuff, you know? So, given his history, and we know that in 2015, they did the sweep of his computer. It was hacked, and they found out that he was on Ashley Madison, and then he was on another one, OkCupid. And then he admitted that he had, the Department of Homeland Security does not investigate tax evasion. However, my friend Suzanne, who runs the who runs No Longer Quivering, she has a contact at the IRS that said that they are investigating or like doing reviews of their taxes. I don't know what that's about, but I don't think it's about trafficking per se. I think it's about photos of children. That's what my gut says, given his history, and then given the people that I've spoken to that are like sort of in the know. Everyone that's in that sort of realm, they're all sort of chattering about photos. So but again, until there's actually an arrest, we won't know. But you will have to, I would say the investigation is still definitely going on. The last I heard, and that it was photos, allegedly. Photos of children. Lots of them. So, I don't know that any of you guys are seeing that because none of your comments reflect that. Not hiding evidence. They wouldn't have any evidence. Can you guys see what I'm saying? Your comments aren't reflecting that. I'm just going to keep saying it until your chat reflects it. Photos. Photos of children. Photos of children. Photos of children. ICE investigates the trafficking of images of children. It's one of the biggest things that they do. And these are not the images of children playing at a park, high-fiving, okay? So, I can't say the word, I can't discuss what it is, but I will say that everyone that I've spoken to, it's photos or something. Photos, videos, something. Potentially. Photos. It wouldn't be photos from the past, it would be photos. So I don't know anything beyond that. I don't know what they've found. I don't know what they're looking for. I don't know how they got tipped off. I don't know anything. Images. I don't think that currently the investigation involves just Josh. So that's all Josh. Okay? Photos. That's what I've heard allegedly. And I don't know. See, this is the part where I don't want to speculate too much because I don't know. I don't want to say like he's creating them or he's just sending them out. Typically, ICE would only get involved with that kind of stuff if there is trafficking of images. So if he has images per se, and then he's sending those images, or if the images are part of a ring, or if he's producing the images and then getting them out and using the internet to get them out. That's kind of how it all works. I don't know anything beyond that. But this is all alleged. There's no evidence. This is all just what I've heard in the rumor mill. Department of Homeland Security is ICE. It's the same thing. No, I can't say what kind of photos. Children photos. They don't care about x-ray photos. They don't care about adult photos. Children photos. They do have a young girl living with them named Emily. I'm not going to guess anything more than that. So, photos is all I've heard. I don't know about any sort of human aspect of it. I don't know anything about that. Yeah, and I think, when he was in 2015, he said that he had an issue with images online. And we know from his growing up, his involvement was with children. So I don't think it would be so far fetched. Connect the dots. Um, Photos. Shira. We can actually talk about things not related to what my content is. So if you just have questions in general, you can just ask me a question. Emily, I think, is somebody. It's Anna's niece, I think. I don't know, to be honest. Yeah, let's move on. Okay, so next question. Josh should be in jail. I don't care about. Okay, we're moving on. My patience isn't low. I can't see your questions and I can't answer some of the questions. And my kitty's adjusting to the house. My kitties are totally adjusting to this house. We are doing really good. Are you covering Mama June's show? No. Am I going to cover... What did I think about the Courtney and Kim spat? I didn't watch it. But I heard that Courtney quit the show. So, good for Courtney. Janelle is not pregnant. Obviously she's put weight on, and I just think we should just stop that whole discussion about is she pregnant or not. She's just put on weight. Who cares? I posted a photo of Janelle doing a TikTok, and it was she just didn't, I couldn't even recognize her. Did I go to prom? If so, what was it like? I went to prom both years, you guys. Both years I went to prom. My first prom was with my friend Billy, Billy's a doctor now. I wonder if Billy's okay. I'm sure he goes by Bill now or William, but back then his name was Billy. He was my friend. That was fun. The first year our prom was at a yacht club place on Lake Minnetonka, which is this really big sort of ritzy lake in the Minneapolis area. A lot of athletes and celebrities that are around here live on Lake Minnetonka. So that's where our prom and dinner and everything was. It was called the Excelsior Yacht Club. So it was super fun. I had a blue satin dress, and I had ivory white gloves that came up to here. And it was thick straps, and then it was sort of like a empire waist, and then A-line, or not A-line, sort of straight down. That was my first prom. Billy and I just went as friends. There was no hanky-panky. And then my second prom was my senior prom. And I went with my boyfriend, Dean, who was the Jehovah's Witness. And he wore Adidas shell toes. He wore Adidas shell toes. Like those, the black with the white toes sneakers with his tuxedo. And I wore a black gown that was very simple. It was just a black and white. It had little white straps and little white pins that went all the way down. It was super, super, really just simple black dress that my friend Erin had worn the year before. And that was at this place called Edinburgh. And we actually didn't even go to prom, really. Sorry, Mom and Dad. We went out to dinner, and then after dinner, we spent like the next like 2 hours trying to have Aaron's brother Sean get us booze. And Aaron's brother Sean like spent forever trying to get us alcohol. And then after we got the alcohol, we went to prom. We had our pictures taken at prom. I think we danced one dance and then we left. Like, that was it. And then we drove to a cabin a couple hours away. And then we stayed overnight and we partied. And yeah, that was about it. I think I have photos of it still, I'm sure. Um, I can't remember though, honestly. I'm sure my parents have pictures of the prom. But yeah. And then I drove Dean home the next day, I think. And then that was it. That was all. The party was fun. Do we have a backyard or play in or stuck in the house? We do have a backyard. We have about a third of an acre. So not, I mean, it's not like a huge yard, but it's, a third of an acre. So yeah, we have a decent sized backyard. Um, but it hasn't been really nice until today. And I don't know. I haven't really been outside too much. I just haven't wanted to be outside at all. You totally made out at prom. Well, Dean and I had been making out for a while before prom, if you know what I mean. So prom wasn't like the night, you know what I mean? Dean and I had been dating for like over a year. So let's just say prom wasn't all that eventfully different than any other night with Dean. I was probably joyfully available. I don't even remember, to be honest. He looked really cute, you guys. I probably just couldn't resist him. I don't even know. He had Adidas shell toes on. I mean, who wouldn't want to? My goodness. How am I adjusting to being stuck at home? Thank you, Ronnie, for the super chat. We're doing good. I think the hardest part is just like not being able to leave. And we're really just not going outside a whole lot. Just because like we have a nurse that actually lives like right up the street. And so I'm just super paranoid to even go outside because she actually works at the hospital. And she's literally like kitty corner to our house. So, yeah. Did I use rubber at prom? I don't, probably. It was a million years ago. I went to prom in 1997, you guys. It's 2020. I went to prom 20 years ago. 23 years ago. If you have a question, the chat moves really fast, so I can't guarantee that your questions will get answered. I went to 12 proms because I went to an all-girls school. Oh my gosh. Would I do things differently if you had to do prom do-over? No. I had fun. Would you have the cleaners in your house hired clean the whole house? Actually, they only do certain rooms. So we hire them to do our bathrooms upstairs and our kitchen and Clearly, they're not doing our bathrooms very well, is what I learned today. Do I go to class reunions? Funny story, you guys. Funny story. So, my class reunion, I haven't been to any of the class reunions. Not one. Not a single class reunion. So, I didn't go to my 10-year reunion because I just didn't want to go. But when my 20-year one came up, I kept waiting for the invite. And I was like, why haven't I gotten the invite? Right? Where's the invite? Where's the invite? Where's the invite? I come to find out that the person who was organizing it knew that I had her blocked on Facebook because I don't like her. We're not friends. And we had a falling out years ago. And she knew that I had her blocked. And my class was really small. There was only 90 of us in the class. And so my neighbor, my old neighbor, he was like, he sent me a message and he was just like, so you're not coming to the reunion? And I was like, no, what reunion? And he was just like, oh, well, yeah, the reunion. It's like, I don't even remember. It was like supposed to be some other day, like really soon. And he was like, but the RSVPs were already up. And they were like a month ago. And so you can't come. And so literally, she knew that I was blocked. And when he contacted her, she knew that I was blocked. And she goes, well, Katie has me blocked, so I couldn't send her the invite. So literally, she went out of her way not to invite me to the 20-year reunion. And she knew I was blocked. She knew she was blocked. And she didn't have anyone else give me the invite. So I missed the 20-year reunion. And I was so mad because I actually wanted to go to that one. And I was just like, how, you guys are so stupid. I like went off on the president of our class. I was like, you're an idiot. Why would you send the evites on Facebook? Like half our class isn't even on Facebook. You know, like there's so many guys from my class that are not on Facebook at all. And they did the whole thing on evites through Facebook. It was the dumbest thing ever. So no, I did not go. I did get shunned. I got shunned. Sherelle, will I consider doing that once a week? Nope. I will not be doing any more related to that topic. Sorry, Sherelle. Tater tot hot dish is what you're talking about. Stephanie P says, tater tots, cream of mushroom, ground beef, and vegetables. Actually, you're missing an ingredient. It's called tater tot hot dish, and we don't eat it very frequently. My mom, so growing up, my mom was like, she grew up sort of, I don't know, her dad worked in so my grandpa worked in a factory, and they never had a lot of money. And my mom and dad we weren't rich, but my mom was really picky about making everything like from scratch and like always having home cooked meals. And she would not do like things that she thought were like from a box, you know? And so tater tot hot dish is kind of like, she in her mind was like low class, and we weren't high class. It's just my mom's thinking. So we never had tater tot hot dish growing up, but I made it a couple times as an adult. And it has tater tots, cream of mushroom soup. You can do, usually you could do green beans, and cheese. And then that's about it. And then it's all together, and ground beef, and it's all in a goopy thing. And I've made it like twice, and it always tastes the same, and it's always not that great. I know, high school politics 20 years later. Exactly. So it's unlikely that I'll probably ever go to another high school reunion. Maybe if they do like an all class reunion, but I don't talk to anyone from high school. Um, actually, well, a couple. Actually, no. I talked to. If you're on my Facebook page, um, a couple of my high school friends, they follow me and they watch me and stuff. So my friend Amy from high school, she follows me. Tell the story about how I got into a rap song. Oh, okay, Jessie Bear. So when I was in college, I was really into this band called Atmosphere. And they are a like hip hop, they're underground hip hop independent label from Minneapolis. And he plays at like the Warp Tours now, or I don't know. He was on MTV2 for a while. I remember when there was like they actually played music. And I was really into him. He had like, I just loved Slug. And I met Slug one night outside of a show at the Red Sea on the West Bank by school, where I went to his school at the University of Minnesota. And we went to the show, and I was with my friend Jill, and Jill and I studied in Spain together. And it was like, I don't know, it was like January or February. It was really, really cold out. And we got really blitzed at the show. And it was a really intimate like show. Like now he wouldn't play something like that anymore. He would play a bigger venue. But back then he played really small, sort of kitschy. Like this was a small stage, very small. And so we were outside after the show was over. And I was smoking a cigarette because I smoked cigarettes when I was in college. And we were like trying to figure out what we were going to do because we had driven, but we were I think Jill had driven, or maybe we took a cab. I don't even remember how we got there, to be honest. And we were trying to figure out how we were going to get back. And so we were just smoking. And then he literally, I was not a thug. I was actually dressed in like this, like I looked so out of place. I looked so preppy, and he was like this, like lanky white guy that, you know, I don't even know. I wouldn't say like this kind of rap. It was more like hip hop. It wasn't very different crowd, like skateboarders and like snowboarders kind of listen to it. Not like gangster rap is best I can describe it. More like Eminem type kind of stuff. And, so we're outside, and he walks outside, and I was so drunk, and I was like, oh my God, Slug, what's up? So embarrassing. And I'm like, oh my God. And I was like being really like sarcastic and stupid. And I was like, so like, do you ever get girls that like throw their panties on the stage at you, or like throw their bras at you? And I was just being like facetious and dumb. And he was just like, well, no, bands like that, like mine, they don't really get those kind of groupies. And I was like, well, can I be your groupie? You know, I was just being like facetious. And then I was like, how do you write the words? Like, how do you find the words that you use? You know, and I'm just like being super kitschy and stupid. And he's just like talking and talking and talking. And I'm like, oh my God, Slug is talking to me. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Yeah, I totally had liquid courage. And he ends up writing a song, and I'm in the song, by the way. And he somehow in the middle of all of this, he ends up being like, so do you guys want to ride home? And I was like, oh my God, Slug wants to drive us home. So me, thinking it's going to be Slug literally driving me and Jill home, I was like, hell yes. And he's like, all right, hold on, let me go get my girlfriend. No, he wouldn't go to his girlfriend. So I don't remember what her name was. Lucy is what I'll call her. And we pile into this like old, like, remember those really old station wagons? The ones that had like the like wood veneer on the side. They were like really long and boxy. Like the Ghostbusters kind of like, remember those? Like, it was like that kind of station wagon. And we got into that station wagon and I was so drunk and I was like, we were driving on, I think, 94 highway 9, like the highway or the interstate 94. And I was a smoker of the cigarettes, but I was also a smoker of the greenery. And so I was like, oh, I totally want to smoke. Like, let's smoke. Come on, everyone, let's smoke. I was so drunk. I was so drunk and so stupid. And he was just like, dude, I just want to go home. I want to go home. And I was just so wasted. And so I'm like trying to figure out how to like get everyone to smoke pot in the car. And it was such a mess. And then all of a sudden we get onto Lyndale Avenue and we're in Uptown. So we were driving from the West Bank of like where I went to school to like Uptown, which is in the same city, just sort of on different sides. And Uptown is sort of where like the hip kind of like, I don't know, it's like the urban kind of like young crowd hangs out at. And they dump us off at Super America. And they're like, I don't know what they were going to do. And then apparently they got us out of the car and they were like, get out. And they like kicked us out of the car. Because I was so drunk. So anyways, yeah, the faux wood Brady Bunch car, totally. So they kicked us out of the car and then like Jill was like, you are so obnoxious. All Slug wants to do is go home and hook up with his girlfriend and all you could do is talk about smoking pot. And I'm like, I'm sorry. So like a year later, he literally like dumps us off at this gas station. It's the middle of January. There is snow everywhere. I have like 4-inch heels on. I barely have a jacket to walk. And we have to walk like 5 blocks in Uptown through like snowbanks, wasted out of our minds to get back to Jill's apartment. And then about a year later, the entire scenario that happened between us, where I meet him outside of the club and I ask him if like if I could be a groupie and throw panties up on the stage, and how do I find the words that you use? And he goes, I don't know, little girl, I can lie if you want me to. And then in the song on Lyndale Avenue, instead of him jumping me off at the gas station, Super America, we hit a truck and we die. So literally in the song, we hit a truck and we die. Like, that's how Slug remembers meeting me. I made such an impression on him that he rode a car, and Slug smoked pot though. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's what I thought was gonna make me be his best friend. Oh man. So I'm in that song. I can't remember what the song is called, but I heard it and I was like, this was the night that I met Slug. And now I hated him after that. I hated him, thinking that he was such an a-hole that he would write a song about me getting kicked out of his car. But in his car, in his version of it, we hit a truck and we died. And in his version of it, we totally made out too, which is weird because I never made out with him. Although, had I had the opportunity that night, I probably would have, because I was obsessed with him. I was 21 years old. I just turned 21. And he was 28 years old. Yeah, I was, and for the record, Slug is a tall, lanky, I don't know. I wanted the big moment. I was totally being the groupie. I was so being the groupie. What's the name of the song? Hold on. It's on his album called God Loves Ugly. It was like, let's see. I was thirsty that night, you guys. The song is called Hair. And I'll read you the lyrics. So these are the lyrics. So could I like throw my panties on stage so I could be like your fucking groupie and just fuck you because you're on stage and the others of us want to fuck you? Apparently that's what I said to him. And he's like, see, bands like us, we don't really get groupies. And I'm like, no. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, you're so full of bullshit, is what I said to him, apparently. No, I'm not full of shit. I mean, have you ever heard our songs? I mean, basically, exactly, that's what I'm saying. And then it's like, basically, like, the whole song is him. Like, she wants to know the words that I use. She said she's 21. I was 21. I like, she seems to be impressed with my lack of an ego and my self-aware style. I like the way that she smiles. She wants to know how I find the words that I use. And he wrote, I don't know, really, but I could lie if you want me to, little girl. Angels sing to me in my sleep. I sold my damaged soul for the magic of speak. It's called Hair. Just look it up. These lyrics are actually not, they're not the full lyrics, but yeah. My husband is a musician, yes. Yeah, I was 21, you guys. I'm 41 now, so this was 20 years ago. This was 20 years ago. And he's like 50. That's the craziest thing for me now, is that when I think of Slug, I still think of him as this like 28-year-old that was just like so hot. And now when I like look at photos of him, I'm like, do you ever have like those crushes back in the day and you're just like, what was I thinking? And that's sort of where I'm at now with Slug. Do I still listen to Atmosphere? I think the last album I bought was maybe 5 or 10 years ago. I don't even remember. I know. Now my husband's a musician. So yeah, I don't really listen to it anymore because honestly, I don't really listen to much of anything anymore. But I would classify Eminem, or I don't even know. Atmosphere is not like, it's its own brand of hip hop. It's not like a metal mix. It's not like he didn't have metal music and then he was like rapping to metal. It was like literally beats that were hip hop beats. It was an independent. They have this independent label called Rhymesayers. I know the crap we do when we're over. He's cooler than Fred Durst. But the funny thing is that for the longest time, my husband's name is Todd and his band is called Canisteris. And actually, my husband's band's new LPs, the first press just came out, or it's coming out. My husband just got it. He's like super excited. They're actually doing it on vinyl, so his new album is coming out, but it's called Black Metal, so I don't know. It's very unique if you're not into that kind of stuff. Does my husband write songs about me? Yes. But like most of the songs don't have lyrics. There is a couple songs on this album, but he has a song on this album that's more, this album is actually inspired by our son. So they did a really long, this is their third album. And they had a really long time frame between their last album and this album. They don't tour. They're more of like just a musical. My husband plays all the instruments. So he does, well, most of it. I think they had a bassist. They did use a bassist for this. But my husband did the guitars, the drums, any keyboards, and he did some of the vocals. And then the other vocalist's name is Rob. And then they had a guy that did bass. I think his name is Carl. And then his friend Mick did a couple solos on guitar. But it's kind of a mix. It's like very ambient. It's hard to describe. It's emotional music. It's mostly about our son and him almost dying, and sort of like he has this song called Father that's pretty cool. And the next album he's already working on is going to be neo folk, I guess. That's what he says. You can find his music on Bandcamp, I think. And I think Canis Dearest. You can just look it up. I don't even know. I don't know what I don't know what his new label is. Hold on. Let me look. This isn't like, it's like a passion project, so they don't make like a lot of money doing this. Let me see who the new label is. So you can get the music on Bandcamp, and I don't know when the new song is. Bind Rune is the company, or the label is called Bind Rune Recordings, is the ones that are putting it out. No, it's nothing like Slipknot. Nothing like Slipknot. It's you would just have to listen to it. I don't really get into it, but it's his music, so I'll, like when he's listening to it, it's very different when you actually like live with someone that creates music versus like what the finished product sounds like. Because if you have anyone in your life that's a musician that records and like masters and cuts and edits themselves, they play the same parts of the songs over and over and over again. So, for the longest time, that was it. Like listening to the same things. I learned how to play the saxophone, but I was not very good. I'm not very musically inclined. My husband is self-taught on everything. So my husband is the kind of person that can hear a song and then play it on the guitar. I can't do that. I have no musicality in my house at all. Chrisley Knows Best. Oh God, don't even go there. That show's terrible. It's completely fake. Todd Chrisley is under indictment for a lot of fraud. Let's see. How old when I met my husband when I was 30. We have been together for 11 years, married almost for 10. My husband does not play gigs. No gigs. Oh, my back is sore. I haven't done a long live stream like this in a long time, and we're only at an hour. I can't believe the people that do live streams for like 5 hours. Yeah, Chrisley stuff is just don't. Yeah, it's really fake too. It's like scripted. My husband and I met on eHarmony. It's really not that exciting. And then we went bowling for our first date. Ooh. Sorry, I have to readjust. And my shorts are very short. Okay. That was it. We met. We fell in love. That was the end of it. Yeah, the Chrisley's Tax Crafts. Did I ever get an apology? No. Oh, you guys met through a personal ad? That's amazing. I have not done a live like this in such a long time. Whew, I forgot about these. All right. So have I spoken to Lindsay? I haven't talked to Lindsay in a couple days. But that's not abnormal. Our sorry. We don't ever talk about Kale. So we don't ever talk about Kale. Do I enjoy lives like this? You can rewatch this live. You can actually rewind it. I will never do a call-in ever again. One, until I have a screener. And because I just can't, until I know like who I'm talking to, the blind calls don't work. And trolls will always just call in and make it way more worse than it needs to be. And call-ins are just really hard on me, to be honest. You watched. Has my family done anything different for quarantine? No. This is actually our life. This is what we do. This is my life on a daily basis. When your child is sick, this is what, like, you guys are all like experiencing what life is like for people that are medically fragile or who have chronic illness. Like, this is literally our lives. I will not probably do a podcast because podcasts are just another thing to do and it just takes way more time. And everyone has podcasts. Everyone has podcasts. And what I've noticed about podcasts is a lot of the ones that are started have no format. So a celebrity will start a podcast and then all they do is talk for an hour. And I'm like, well, what's your point? It's just like your 1 hour talk to people to make money kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, no, it's just another medium. Anything fun to watch during quarantine? I started, Tiger King. If you haven't watched Tiger King yet, I think I'm going to get offline here in a minute and go watch Netflix. I could really use some Netflixing time. I need some. Ooh, I have 4 new members tonight. That's awesome. I feel like if I was gonna, podcasts are a lot of work, you guys. First off, you have to have a host, and then you have to have, it's just way more work that I don't want to do. It's not like I can just start a podcast. You have to have a server, then you have to have a website, then you have to like get it out and distribute it. It's just so much work. It's why would I want a podcast when I can have my YouTube? I mean, for the most part, you could just listen to me as a podcast on YouTube. Tiger King is way out there. I don't know about that, Jay Ryder. Okay. I need to go because I'm really tired. And this has been super fun. And I don't want it to be super long so that people don't rewatch it. So for all of the new members that joined tonight, thank you guys. Chris, Wendy, let's see. Sarah C., Mandy Leeser, Chris Elam, and Wendy F., thank you so much for joining tonight. Katie Lindstrom and Cassandra Morris, thank you for your super chats. For some reason, I can't get this to come down anymore. Hold on. And Ronnie, thank you for your super chat. So thank you guys for the new members. Thank you guys for your super chats. I really appreciate it. All right, you guys, I hope you have a good night. I'll be back tomorrow with more. I hope you have a good day. Spend some time with your families. I had fun. Stay safe. Stay home. Wash your hands. And please be careful.